پارلمان اروپا اجلاس رسمی هیات رابطه با عراق. سخنان استیونسون درباره کشتار در هویجه و بحران امنیتی لیبرتی.
I also am aware of the background of a deteriorating security situation inside Iraq. I was horrified to note 2 days ago the massacre that took place in Hiyat, a small city near Kirkuk, where a demonstration largely involving the Sunni population was attacked by helicopter gunships, by large numbers of military firing indiscriminately into the crowd. 70 people were killed. I've received this morning some horrific photographs which I can leave for people to look at the end of the meeting. 270 so far estimated are seriously wounded. And this followed on the visit a few days ago to Nouri al-Maliki by the head of security from Iran, who then gave a press conference saying that he had told Nouri al-Maliki how to deal with the protests and demonstrations which have now gone on for 16 weeks non-stop inside Iraq. Now, it can be no coincidence that having received the helpful information from the Iranian head of security, that a few days later we see this appalling massacre. And my understanding now, maybe Mr. Janacek will be able to give us more information on this, my understanding is that this has completely destabilized the Iraqi government, that the Kurds are now threatening to pull out. I know an emergency meeting of the Al-Iraqiyya opposition party has been called by their leader, Ayad Alawi. I understand some ministers have resigned from the government in protest at this massacre. And this, of course, also comes on top of increasing violence, increasing repression. 21 executions have taken place in Iraq last week alone. 33 executions in the last month, 70 so far this year. Iraq now is in the ignominious position of executing more people than any country in the world apart from only China and its neighbor Iran. Not a record that anyone should be proud of. Now, we here in the delegation for relations with Iraq do not want to be accused of interfering in the internal politics of that country. But we cannot sit back and watch increasing use of the death penalty on an almost indiscriminate basis. Attacks, vicious massacres of legally demonstrating people who were only armed with sticks and stones. And we were told by the official Iraqi government news agency later that this was a counter-attack against armed insurgents. Well, after the 70 people were massacred, some of the tribal leaders did then counter-attack using guns to try to protect themselves. But initially the demonstrators were armed and fought back against weapons, guns and machine guns, only with stones and sticks, from all the information I have received. And that's information that I am taking daily from Al Jazeera and other news agencies. But again, I look to the EES to provide further information on this. Now, these demonstrations started 16 weeks ago, It appeared to many of the demonstrators that this was an attempt by Nouri al-Maliki to create a sectarian Shia-only government. And the demonstrations have taken place in many of the cities in 6 of the major provinces of Iraq ever since, objecting very strongly to what they see as the return of sectarianism and a crackdown on the Sunni minority. I find that very regrettable, and I hope now that we can see a return to a non-sectarian, a democratic government that has the interests of all of the Iraqi citizens at heart. And part of that process was necessarily the provincial elections. And that's why I am dismayed that we have seen these massacres and the ongoing spiraling violence when the people of Iraq should have been participating in democratic elections. My understanding, again, from news reports, is that the turnout at these elections was very low, and again, that is regrettable. Although official news is again that the turnout was over 50%. Al Jazeera claimed that it was about 23% in most of the provinces. And as you know, we devoted the last meeting of our Iraq delegation to the situation in Camp Liberty following the mortar attack that took place, the rocket attack on the 9th of February. But I can report to you that now, 2.5 months since that attack, no helmets or body armor have been permitted to enter Camp Liberty. The reasons seem unfathomable. Why basic body armor and helmets are not provided to these people who have clearly become a target for attack is completely beyond my comprehension. No T-walls have been replaced, despite our demands at the last meeting of this delegation. Shovels, which they were asking permission to buy to dig trenches in which they could hide in the event of another attack, were denied. I cannot, as a democratically elected politician myself, sit back and not, as chairman of this delegation, comment on what the international community regards as a deteriorating situation inside Iraq. You know, I am conscious of the fact that when we had the 2 massacres that took place, if you recall, in Camp Ashraf, we were guaranteed a full inquiry into what happened. I have never been shown the result of any inquiry. We were told the Iraqi government were undertaking a full inquiry into who perpetrated the attack on Camp Liberty on the 9th of February. I have not been shown the outcome of that inquiry.